So good morning, and it is morning, and it's a very foggy little morning. I'm playing with my little GoPro this morning. That's all I've got with me. I've just taken my daughter to work, dropped her off at the hospital because she's working in a COVID ward this morning. Well, for the next 12 hours, bless her. So on the way back, I thought I'd bring my camera anyway. I threw it in the boot of the car just in case we had some nice hoarfrost. No hoarfrost this morning, which is a shame. It was gorgeous on the way to work the other morning. This is part of the road. This is the road I actually drive down for the hospital and for work. So I'm not actually out on my boundaries at the moment. I am heading on my way home, but I thought I'd pull up in a couple of car parks on the way through, just because we've got this lovely mist, and every morning I come past and see these trees in the mist and in the fog and in the snow and in the rain and in all sorts of conditions. And I thought I'd just pull up in the lay-by, and I'm going to use another couple of lay-bys. There's one further up that way and there's one down that way, just to pull up and take a couple of quick snaps on the way past on an opportunity that I wouldn't normally get. And at the moment I'm shooting this tree here. This tree here is really quite nice, and you have to put up with the traffic as it goes past. This is normally a very busy road, but of course restrictions are there's not a lot of people on the road. I'm having to keep my camera covered up if I can, best I can. I've only got one cloth with me. I didn't bring my big cloth. It's just so that I keep a little bit of mist and fog off the actual lens itself. Now I'm at f8 to give me a little bit of depth in this image, and I've gone for a lot of negative space. The sun is just about to rise and the sky is changing very fast. It's getting brighter and brighter, and I can just about see the second tree. So I might actually put you down and take a horizontal shot, so I've got one of the two trees in the mist, and the sky gradient just gets brighter and brighter with the colours. So I'm going to put you down because I can't really do both at the same time, so I've only got a little mini tripod. But I've just taken one, f8, very minimal. I've got this little tree, or this big tree really, in the fog. It's made very simplicity. The simplicity of the images, because of the fog's taking all the crappy the distractions away from the background. But it's really turned out a really lovely shot, and possibly one of my favourites this year, because it's only January, and excuse that traffic. Yeah, it's only January, and it's definitely my favourite this year, but I mean, it's been one of my favourites for a long time, so it's a really nice little shot. Very simple, very soft and very calming. Just to the tree and all the twigs and stuff leading up into the sky. But I just like that gradient going up because it is lighter in the air. There's only a low fog, it's not solid fog, so the gradient's going up and it's really quite nice. So I'm going to take another one of this. There's a tree, like I say, just appeared there, so I'm going to take that. And I've been watching, the tree I want is over this way. There's a tree behind me that I see every single morning that tempts my fate, and I really would like to get a shot of that, but at the moment I can't see it, and I don't want to be out all morning, so we'll see. See what I mean about the cars? We'll see if we can see it, and I'll speak to you in a moment. So I've got the other shots set up and I've had to move down a little bit, and I might have to move down a little bit further because I want to try and bring the two trees together to go so they're not so far apart, because where I was stood just now there was a really big gap between the two trees, but it really is a beautiful, beautiful scene. It'd be a lot nicer if we didn't have these cars making this horrible racket, but yeah, oh, my watch is telling me it's time to get up, but I'm already up, so I'll turn that off. We don't need that on anymore. It's just hit 8 o'clock, so the sun should be up now, right off in the distance, but you can't see it. But what an absolutely stunningly soft, beautiful, beautiful soft image. Now, there's a lot of people that normally turn these sort of images to black and white, but I like that little softness of green in the bottom of the damp, frosty grass. I still can't see my tree over this side. It's still not there, but I'm going to move down just a little bit further. But I've only got my trainers on and wasn't really thinking about walking anywhere. But the other trees just disappeared. But if I'm just going to move down just a little bit, just to compress the middle of the trees so that there's less gap between the two of them. You can hardly see the second tree. You really have to look for it. It's actually quite difficult to focus when conditions are like this. You will find you have to use a manual focus. My camera's just about managing to pick up on the top of the leaves, on the top of the twigs or the branches, so I'm just going to zoom in just to make sure that it's sharp. Oh, and it is absolutely stunningly sharp. The other trees just disappeared. I could just see it with my faintest of my eyes, so I'm going to take a couple with slightly different perspectives just so that I can have a choice when I get back. And I've gone slightly wider, but the skies, I think the mist is thickening up a little bit now, so the sky's not there, that gradient that you saw in the first image of the sky going up into sort of almost a blue, a nice pastel blue color. At the moment now it's not, it's disappeared. So yeah, just keeping the lens covered up best I can, just so it keeps a little bit of that moisture off the screen. And I am literally right on the road. You can see the sign behind me for Bridgemere Garden World and Stone, the A451. So I am literally on the main road. So I'm not going to hang around here too much longer, because if the thick mist gets thicker, I'm not going to get to see the other tree behind me. But yeah, I see it every morning, and now I can't see it, which is typical, because it's just got a bit more gnarliness to it. And I am going to head up, like I say, I'm going to head up to the other lay-by, and maybe just to get a picture of the canal bridge from the lay-by, get a picture of the canal, and then I'm going to go back down closer to home. But this tree's lovely, it really is. It's just so nice. It wouldn't be the same without the fog, not at all. F8, sticking to F8, keeping my horizon level, and using negative space. Using negative space to fill the frame, if you like, or to unfill the frame. It's all about that one tree and the softness and the minimalism. Right, so I've had to get back in my car, started to get a bit chilly. I'm going to move up the road. I'm only going to go up probably about a mile up the road. I'm going to pull up into the lay-by by the canal bridge and try that out. Then I'm going to head back down this way, maybe pull up in this lay-by if that tree appears over on the left hand side over there. The fog's too thick for it. I think the best of that one's already done. The lights come up now, so the sky's gone from these nice pastel colours to just a grey really. But I don't mind, as long as I manage to get a little video made and a couple of little photographs, I'll be all right. Now the lens is probably going to fog up because I'm jumping in and out of the car, and again, I don't want to spend too long out. Half an hour is more than enough. So I'm going to nip up there, have a look at the canal bridge, maybe take a quick shot of the canal bridge, head back down, and I might even call it there. So I'm just going to have a drop of coffee, and I'll speak to you in a little while when I get to the canal bridge. See you in a bit. come down to the canal bridge and it's not that good really, but I'm going to take a shot of it anyway. It might look better once I've processed it, or maybe turned it to black and white and made it a bit more minimal and stuff like that. Now this year I'm going to try and do things slightly different. You've probably heard the saying, exposed to the left. Well, I've never really done a lot of that, exposing to the left. I normally expose to how I feel I want the image, and but I've seen a couple of videos lately. Been watching people sort of filling gaps and stuff like that, and they all talk about exposing to the left. And basically what that means is, on mine I use aperture priority quite a lot. I always use my base ISO, the best ISO I can go. I set my aperture to f8, f11 or f16 or whatever I want it to be, and I let my shutter speed do what it wants. With aperture priority, you control the aperture and you tell it what you want, f8, f11, f16, and then the shutter speed's irrelevant. It can do whatever it wants when it's on a tripod, and the only time you have to break that and you have to go into manuals if you want to try and slow water down or shoot faster to catch birds and stuff like that. Now I've got a compensation dial on the top of my camera, this little one here, and it's really easy just to flick it round and give it one extra stop of light or no extra stops of light. And then rather than using the meter on the camera, which is the little tiny dial on the side of my camera, what I do is I flick around so you can see it. This little tiny dial on the side there, you can see it goes up and down as I change the light on the camera by using the little dial on the top. So at the moment I've got it set to 0, and as you can see there, it's set to 0 there, and it's saying that's okay, but the histogram's fine. It's definitely in the middle, and I've got a little tiny histogram on the bottom of my camera, but by pressing my side button I can bring up my big histogram, my RGB histogram, and you see it's quite central. But what you can do is you can just up the exposure by, say, a stop, and as I up the exposure by a stop, you'll see the histogram just moves up slightly. Now what this is doing is it's picking up all the detail in the shadow area, so it's making the image a lot brighter. And by making the image a lot brighter, as long as you don't clip the highlights and you stay right away from the right hand side altogether, you'll have all the detail in that shot. So it means even in the dark areas you still got detail in the shadows, and I think that's what I'm going to try and do this year. Rather than expose to the way I think it looks, keep a high on my histogram, and my New Year's resolution is exposed to the right. So I'm going to try that and see if it improves the look and the feel of my images. Now I'm sure I get many comments, as you know, you comment and you're really good, but I'm sure I can improve on my images, and there's always room for improvement for anybody and everybody. Now there's not a lot going on here. I might just go the other side of the little building where my car's parked and see if there's a shot down the canal, but here I don't think there's a lot. I think the 3 shots I've taken 2 while I've been talking to you, and I'm just moving the camera slightly now. I'm going to take the 3rd one, and all this is going to be is oh, it says number 1 on the bridge. Let's keep number 1 in. This is just a tight shot looking straight down the canal, going off into nothing, just disappearing into the mist. And I've got a black spot on the bottom of my camera. Now let me just turn my screen off. Yes, I can see it. So let me show you this on the back. See, just there, watch that space just there. As I press my shutter down, I'm getting this big spot. So I think I've got something on my sensor. So before I go anywhere, I'm just going to clean that off if I can, or it's on the back of the lens, and I'm only going to give it a bit of a blow. Ooh, otherwise it's a clone spot. So I have come along a little bit further, and I've come down towards the other side of the canal. My car is just there. You can see my car. I'm literally half a minute from the car. My fingers are really cold, but actually the light is starting to get a little bit interesting up in the sky, but I don't think I can get it all in. I'm going to try and get a shot straight down in a moment, and if I drop you on the floor, then that's because the light's got too good. But let me just quickly talk through what I've done. I've just taken four images and then a 5th image. I started off really wide, taking it all in, then I got slightly tighter, and then slightly tighter and tighter still right on the boats, just to see if it all works. And yeah, something's definitely looking pretty there. I might have to just come back to you in a moment. Tell you what, let me get these pictures. Pictures are more important than you. I'll be back in a sec. Sorry about that. Wasn't expecting that. There was a little bit of colour in the sky, and I can still see the colour. It might be because I've got my other glasses on, my darker ones, and yeah, there's definitely a hazy colour in the sky, which is quite nice. Again, I took a couple of shots. I never ever take just one. I always edge my bets, and I really struggle then to pick me bets. So I tend to always show you more than one image, which yeah, tell me in the comments, do you like the fact that I show you more than one, or would you prefer me just to show you one of my best of that session? But yeah, it's really nice. The mist is just faded off a little bit now, which is why I can see the clouds a little bit and the colours, but the atmosphere down there is beautiful, and I've made sure I've kept the shadow, the reflection of the trees without cutting it off on the bank. And I've used this slight gradient. I've got into a position where this slight gradient is just coming from the bottom of the image. If I switch this back on to show you what I'm talking about, if you look right down in the bottom corner, I've tried to use that gradient to slide the eye through the image, and I've got my boat bang on the thirds, and I talk about the thirds all the time, and that is because I like to use the rule of thirds. There's a reason for it, and it just seems to work. And when you understand it, and when you know what the rule of thirds is all about, then if you feel like you want to break it, you can break it. This morning I put the tree bang in the middle, our first thing, if you remember, and that worked for me. But to me, it was all about the negative space. This is about getting that boat bang on the thirds and getting that leading line that leads your eye right from the bottom left corner right the way through the image, and then there's some nice soft tones all the way through. Really pretty, ever so nice. Not the best image I got from here, because I'm sure you've seen that already. If you have my calendar, then you'll see one of the images I took from literally where I was just now, shooting underneath the canal bridge. But I've got an image taken on that same morning, on an October morning, where this sky was purple and everything was purple. It was stunning, and I'll show you it up in that corner just there, or at least I'll show you it on the screen while I'm talking. But yeah, I think I'm done here. I think this is it. So I think I'm going to put my tripod away, and as you notice, I've got my little three-legged thing out, just because my other one, I'm going to do a cleaning the tripod session later on. So I don't know if you've seen the video or not. If you haven't seen it already, then it will be out, and if you have seen it already, thanks for watching. But it's an in-depth cleaning. I'm going to strip the tripod right down, take all the legs apart, take the head apart, and give it a good clean, because it's winter time and it's time to get that done. But that's a beautiful scene, very calming, very nice, and a nice little way to start in the morning. So let's just make my way back to the car, and I'll drive back down and just see if there is one more shot on the way through, because it's a gorgeous morning. I must be able to see that tree again by now. Well, I'm not going to lie, I'm so glad I just drove down this little bit. I went down to the other car park where I was just now, not the car park, but the lay-by, and it was just the same. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a cough. I just took a mouthful of my coffee in my car and I went down the wrong hole. But I caught the glimpse of the sun as I was driving down the road, and like I say, I've only a mile, 2 miles down the road, and I've just managed to get down here and just see the sun through the fog, through the mist. It's absolutely amazing. So I quickly snapped a shot of the sun just on its own, but then I've run down to this tree, and what an absolute spectacular treat. What an amazing photograph. This could be my calendar photograph for next year. Really, this speaks January, it speaks the cool, it speaks the winter, and it absolutely, it's so beautiful. You got the tree, this big oak tree, or this big tree, and I've walked down here loads of times. This big tree, but that sun, the low sun, just peeking through that fog and that mist is absolutely amazing. What an absolutely winner of a chance that was. I only drove down here to see what the trees were like in the fog, and don't get me wrong, they're really nice. And I'm only parked there, you can see my car, I'm literally 50 yards from the car. I've just literally walked down here. This is a walk now, a local walk behind Dorford Hall. They've tarmacked it and concreted it, so you can get down here and you can walk all the way down and back round. It's a lot for the dog walkers more than anything, but that was absolutely stunning. I am cold because I've got my trainers on and my feet are a little bit cold. I didn't come out for walking, I certainly didn't come out for standing on grass and farmland, but I'm going to hang around here for 10 or 15 minutes just to see if it changes at all. And I wish I had my drone on me right now, just so I can fly it straight up in the air. I'm not around and near anything, so it'll be fine, but I haven't got it on me because I reckon I could get through the fog and I could see above it. But what a shame I haven't got it on me. I wasn't planning on doing anything like that, but I wish I had my drone on me. But yeah, that's a really nice, beautiful shot. I managed to get it in a horizontal and a vertical. I think the vertical looks pretty good because you've got the tree leading up and you've got all this nice negative space in the top and the sun right down in the bottom thirds. And then with this image, it's nice just to get that horizontal shot, just make it a bit more landscapey for the calendars and things like that. And I can crop it down maybe to a 10:8 as well, so I get rid of that little bit of negative space on the left hand side. So I'll get an option between being a wider shot and a narrow shot. So yeah, and the sun's just disappearing now. So yeah, what a fantastic little treat that was. I'm really, really glad I managed to stay out for 5 minutes just to have a look and see if there's anything in this fog, because you just don't get these conditions. And the way things are at the moment, I can't do any travelling, I can't go anywhere, I can't do anything. Yeah, that was really nice. Right, I think that's done. I don't think I can better that. I really don't. I'm going to jump in my car, just drive down to the end and drive back, because I can't turn around where I am, so I'll just drive down to the end, turn around, and if I spot anything down there I will stop my car and just take a couple of shots, probably through the window. But God, that was beautiful. Really, really nice. I needed that. So, thanks for watching. A little bit of fog, a little bit of minimalism. I hope you enjoyed it. It's only a quick one really, I suppose, or I hope it's only been a quick one. Shot all my shots on f8 this morning because depth of field wasn't an issue. Just wanted the sharpness actually in the trees, in the detail, but other than that, absolutely made up. Really, I don't think that sun's going to pop out again. But yeah, till next time, don't forget, please like and subscribe. If you're new to my channel, I will be doing lots of strange things in lockdown, but I will be back out again, wandering around and exploring afterwards. And I've just noticed that one tree that I was shooting is actually 2 trees. I must have been stood right in line. So I wonder if I can get the 2 of them together. That'd be quite nice. Let's just step down here. Yeah, and like I say, I'll see you next time on the next adventure. Ciao for now.